So work, pressure, volume work. Pressure, volume, work. So this is what I'm going to discuss today first, because first things are very important. So basic definition for us to know, pressure. What is pressure? Force by area. If you don't know what is this thing, just draw this thing. Just draw two triangles. Okay. And then write down what? Force here, pressure and area. So which means here, force is equal to pressure into area. Pressure is equal to what? Force by area. So this triangle will help you to remember things and work. And what is work? Force into displacement. For this also you can use the same kind of triangular method. For which one? For W. Again draw two triangle, one more triangle. W is equal to F into D. Work is equal to force into displacement. That's all. Fine. So what I'm going to discuss now here is that I'll write down here. I hope everyone has written down this thing. Work done on an ideal gas. Work done on an ideal gas in a cylinder. In a cylinder when it is compressed by external pressure. Correct? So this P external, that is my external pressure. So I just discussed some few things. What is force? What is force from this? Pressure into area, P into A. Which means I'm just cross multiplying this thing here, that's all. F is equal to P into A. Correct? And what is work is equal to? Force into distance or displacement or whatever it is. Correct? Force into distance or displacement. So if I want to write work here, W is equal to F into D. So which means what is force? Pressure by area. And this is what distance. Correct? Is it correct or wrong? Is force pressure by area or pressure into area? Is force pressure by area or pressure into area? It is P into A. So we have to be very careful with this. So yes, because I got one of the answer as P by A. Okay. So P into A into what length I'll give off? DSL. Correct? What is area into length? Area into length is equal to volume. So PV. So W is equal to what? I'll get PV. Why I written volume here? Because volume is nothing but area into length. Or what is area? L into L into L. Clear? So that's the reason I written down this thing. But I will put a negative sign here. Negative work done. Why I am putting a negative work? So what is a negative work done? So we are all sure that we are travel by lift. Correct? So if you are going by left, if you are going upwards, is it acting against the gravity? Gravity pulls the lift down, right? So if you are going to the third from first floor, if I am going to third floor, what is it actually? It is taking us up. So which means any work done against the gravity is negative work done. Is it clear to everyone? Is that clear to everyone? Negative work done. So why negative is given here? Because what I'm doing here, work done is an ideal gas in a cylinder when it is compressed by an external pressure. So what happens if the gas get expanded? Correct, that I'll write down words in the next line. Here I'll just write it down. The negative sign is used for work done by the system in case of expansion of volume. Fine. So what is the formula which you'll be learning here? The one which I'm going to write now. W is equal to minus P delta V. Why delta V? If there is an expansion, change in volume. That's it. So this is one of the important formulas in entrance. W is equal to minus P dot delta V. So if anyone want me to go to the previous page, let me know. For copying down, if anyone want me to go to the previous page, let me know. Yeah. So this is not at all difficult one. Yeah. So remember the two triangles, force and work done. So if everyone has done this or anyone still remaining to complete, let me know. Okay. So once done, please let me know. Yeah. There's only one student is there. That's it. Next important topic, work done in isothermal and reversible expansion of. So what is constant isothermal? Can anyone tell me? Reversible expansion of ideal gas. Very good. Temperature. Excellent. So everyone is reading it. Pakka. So first thing, what is ideal gas equation? This is just for you to remember. What is ideal gas equation? PV is equal to nRT. Very, very important for the entrance examination, which is stated in the last chapter. Now coming to this. At constant temperature, because it is in isothermal at constant temperature. My reversible, correct? Reversible, REVRSIBLE, reversible. The work is reversible. This is important for us. The reversible work, WREV subscript, is minus 2.303 nRT log VF by VI. So VF is the final volume. And VI is what? Initial volume. This is one more formula. Do not worry if you don't know the logarithm thing. I'll teach you that. It's very easy. So this is log of VF by VI. Okay, this is log of VF by VI. Yes. Log of VF by VI. Yes. Please note on the important bracket. Yeah. I hope everyone is done with this. So the previous one, it was isothermal and reversible expansion of ideal gas. Now, instead of reversible, we'll see free. Isothermal and free expansion of an ideal gas. Important points to note. Important points. First one. For isothermal expansion of ideal gas into vacuum. W is equal to 0. These are the condition of the law, okay, guys. Why? If you ask me why, because external pressure is 0. So this is the reason for this. So this is not there in the book. External pressure is 0. Change in internal energy is equal to 0. And heat is equal to 0. That is the reason work done is 0 in this. Okay. So what is there is W is equal to 0. But for you guys, I'm just explaining the same. Why it is 0 also I explain to you. Next thing. For isothermal, irreversible change. So this is all under free expansion, okay, not irreversible or reversible expansion. This is under free expansion. The previous one was reversible expansion. So under free expansion of ideal gas, what will happen? In this one, it is same as what? W is equal to minus P dot delta V. W is equal to what? Minus P dot delta V. What is this P? P external. So what is this thing? W is equal to minus P external dot delta V. What is my delta V? V final minus V initial. Final volume minus initial volume minus P external Vf minus Vi. So the best part of this is these formulas are very short and we can directly get the answer. Fine. So if we know that this same as the first one, the pressure volume work, that's all. So if I even want, I can write here Q is equal to, okay, Q is equal to W is equal to something I can write, no problem. The heat value in the above is 0 Q. Here it is Q is equal to W, total work done. So if everyone has done, we'll go to the next page. Done. And the last one, third one, for isothermal, the last one was irreversible change. For isothermal, reversible change. So guys, kindly compare and study. So what is my Q is equal to in this? Minus W. So go to this. This is just the opposite of this. Q is equal to minus W RAV. So I'll get as what? 2.303. That was negative 2.303. This will be positive. nRT log of Vf by Vi. That's all. So please compare and study. Then it will be very easy for you guys. So guys, the base is always 10. Okay. The base of logarithm is always 10. Please remember that. So once I'm taking the problems, it's very easy actually. It's very easy. Without using the logbook, I'll teach you how to do this. Fine. Yeah. For the adiabatic change, this is very important. Q is equal to 0. So which means del U is equal to W adiabatic. So these things they can ask in options. What happens for adiabatic change? CHNGE. Q is equal to 0. So I think everyone knows this formula in the last class. Delta U is equal to what? Q plus W. Fine. U is the internal energy. Change in internal energy is equal to Q plus W. Q is the heat absorbed by the system. So just a revision so that since you're learning for the very first time. So I'm just substituting this as Q is equal to 0. 0 plus W is what? W. That's how I get this formula. Done. So few more topics in the chapter will be over. Okay, that's it. Fine. Done. Is everyone done? Then we'll go to next thing. Anyone want me to turn the previous page? You should tell me now. Yeah. Enthalpy. So what is the meaning of enthalpy? Heat. Enthalpy means heat. That's it. If you are able to remember it like this, it's best. So it is defined as the total heat content of the system. Total heat content of the system. Because in chemistry and all, you'll have ionization enthalpy, a lot of things. Correct? Fine. And it is one more thing for easy remembrance, I'll write it here. In words, it is equal to sum of internal energy U. We know what is internal energy. It is what? U plus pressure volume work plus pressure volume work. So which means if I'm writing it in words, it is what? Enthalpy is H. H is equal to U plus PV. Heat. Correct? That's why H here. H is equal to U plus PV. Very important. Fine. So what is exothermic and endothermic reaction? How many of you know what is exothermic and endothermic reaction? How many of you know? Just tell me how many of you know. That will be fine. Change in enthalpy. Okay, but here we have to say exothermic or endothermic in terms of what? System and surrounding. Okay, fine. So change in enthalpy is nothing but heat absorbed by the system at constant pressure. Heat absorbed by the system at constant pressure. Okay. Now coming to the exothermic reaction. So I have to explain in terms of what? Thermodynamics. That is system and surrounding. So which means here what should I write? System loses energy to surroundings. System loses exo. So it is giving out, loses energy. to surroundings. Next one is endothermic. System gains or absorbs, I can say. Gains or absorbs energy from the surrounding. Gains or absorbs energy from the surrounding. So if you ask me what is the formula for this, this is nothing but delta H is equal to QP. So for exothermic reaction, both delta H and QP are negative. Then for endothermic reaction, both delta H and QP are positive. Finish. Yeah. Now entrance point of view. This is a very important formula. That's the reason I'm highlighting. Relationship between enthalpy, change in enthalpy and change in internal energy. This is equally important for the board as well as the entrance. Delta H is equal to delta U plus delta NGRT. N is the number of moles. R is the universal gas constant. T is the temperature. Copy down this thing. Very important formula. So what is R, guys? Universal gas constant. Correct? In the gas chapter, I have already mentioned the same. R is the universal gas constant. So I hope everyone knows what is R, universal gas constant. In the last chapter I told. Yeah. Fine. So they will give 8.314 into some value. Okay, they will give it off. Now there are some terms. Okay, so these are strictly for your knowledge. This will neither come for the board. Maybe it can come for the school. That's it. But board exam, no. extensive property and intensive property. Better I'll put 2 columns, and it'll be easy for you to. First one, we'll see some examples of the same. Mass, volume, now enthalpy. Intensity, I'll write something like temperature, density, pressure. Okay. So what is meant by intensive property? What is meant by extensive property? Let's come to intensive property. So indent temperature, it does not depend upon the size of the matter. Does not depend on the size of the matter or quantity of the matter present in the system. Quantity of the matter present in the system. The keyword here is what? System. So what will be the extensive property? Extensive property depends on the size or quantity of the matter, size or quantity of the matter present in the system. That's all. Yeah. This is not that important because I should tell you which is important, which is not important also. Yeah. Now some shortcuts I will teach you on how to remember things. Okay. Let's take heat capacity. Definitely for the board as well as for the entrance, this will come. Q is equal to, we all know what is Q, correct? Q is equal to C into delta T. C is nothing but my heat capacity. What is C? My heat capacity. Then comes something called specific heat capacity. So what I want you to do is write on the same formula. Q is equal to C into delta T. Fine. But only thing is you have to multiply with mass M. Is it clear for everyone? So this is how we compare and study. And if you ask me what is this delta T, I'll write it down here. Delta T is nothing but the rise in temperature or change in temperature. Correct? Fine. And what is M? Mass of the substance. So just multiply by M and it changes it to specific heat capacity. This is how we have to learn. If you learn like this, it will be very easy. And one more thing you can do here is again draw triangles. This should be your biggest friend now. Visualization, because we have to remember this for 2 years. Correct? Because in class 11th and all, you won't have this specific heat capacity, nothing will be there. It will be class 12, sorry. So you have to make sure that we remember everything. So put down Q here, could put down C here, put down temperature. So Q is equal to what? C into T. That's it. C is equal to what? Q by T. That's all. Correct? Perfect. So try to make learning in a very simple way. That's what I'll tell you. Next thing, how do we calculate this internal energy and enthalpy in a large scale? How do we calculate delta H, change delta H and delta U in a large scale? This also they can ask in entrance by using a Bohm calorimeter. By using a Bohm calorimeter. Fine. Please note down this. Entrance, this is for. If anyone want me to go to the previous page, please, you should tell me that thing, okay? Fine. Yeah. I hope everyone has written on this also. Now, the last topic in this. Enthalpy changes during transformation. So which means phase transformation. So what do you mean by phase? That I'll tell you. First thing is enthalpy of fusion. Okay, so which means enthalpy of fusion meaning the change in enthalpy. So it is the change in enthalpy when one mole of a solid at its melting point is converted to liquid. That's all. It's converted to liquid. So solid to liquid basically. So best example is what? I'll take water as ice. Correct? Fine. Then I'll write here water as liquid. This is the best example for us to remember. So this is simple for delta fusion of enthalpy. Fine. So this is actually 6 kilojoules per mole. That's it. So first one is done. The next one is, guys, very easy. Enthalpy of vaporization. So vaporization, I'll write the example. H2O liquid to what? H2O gas. Next is enthalpy of sublimation. What is sublimation? Now only one thing is remember that is solid to gas. That's it. Enthalpy of sublimation. What is the example of sublimation? Can anyone tell me? We all do it actually. Yes. One is iodine is correct. Naphthalene balls, camphor, correct? Which we use for praying and all. Yes or no? Correct? Yeah. Solid to gas, we can use what? Naphthalene balls, that is camphor, we can say. Same thing only. Or iodine. Solid to iodine of gas. Sublimation process. So guys, I'm not writing the definition for the same. So change in enthalpy when 1 mole of solid at what? What can I write? Solid which changes it to gaseous state, correct? At a temperature below its melting point, that's it. Vaporization, no melting point, it is obviously at a boiling point. So try to remember these examples, this will help you out. Fine. Last but not the least, enthalpy of combustion. So if I take methane and if I burn it, methane is a what? Hydrocarbon, correct? Methane is a hydrocarbon. So if I burn hydrocarbon, what will get? Carbon dioxide and water. So I'm not balancing it. So this is the best example of enthalpy of combustion. So which means in presence of air, in presence of air, or you can write in excess of air and oxygen and burning. In excess of air and oxygen. The same definition as the last. So guys, enthalpy of vaporization, VAPORISATION. Enthalpy of sublimation, SUBLIMATION, solid to gas. Vaporization, I didn't write here, I'll write it down now. Liquid to gas. Common sense, this are all. Enthalpy of combustion, in the excess of EXCESS, in the excess of air and oxygen. If I burn any hydrocarbon, I'll get what? Carbon dioxide and water. Burn. The keyword here is combustion. Not heating or boiling, it is burning. Done everyone? Let me know. Yeah. Only if you're done, I can go to the next thing. Perfect. I think almost everyone has done it. Perfect. Something new I want to tell you, entropy. I'm sure most of you might be hearing this for the first time. One of my favorite definition, which I'll never ever forget in my life. Measure of degree of randomness or disorder, or randomness will be fine. Randomness of a system is called what? Entropy. It is a measure of degree of randomness of a system, and it is represented by delta S. Okay. Yeah. And there is something called change in entropy. Delta S means change in entropy. That is delta H by T. Fine. And one of the entrance thing they can ask is, what is entropy in equilibrium? What is entropy in equilibrium? They can ask this kind of questions. Answer is what? Delta S is equal to 0. Okay. Second law of thermodynamics. Okay, I'll write down like this, then you'll be able to understand. Delta S system plus delta S surroundings greater than 0, or else delta S total greater than 0, which means the entropy. What is system plus surroundings? Can anyone tell me what is system plus surroundings? What is system plus surroundings? Yes, universe. System plus surroundings, universe. Correct? So which means I can write the second law of thermodynamics as the entropy of the universe. Because system plus surrounding is equal to universe. The entropy of universe is continuously increasing. That is greater than 0. Is continuously increasing due to spontaneous process taking place. Fine. Then there is one more last phenomenon topic. Okay, that is Gibbs energy. Gibbs energy. So delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. What is delta H? Enthalpy change. Enthalpy change minus product of, what is it? Temperature and entropy change. That's it. Minus T into, what is T? Temperature. And what is delta S? Change in entropy. Change in entropy. This is one more important formula, Gibbs free energy, you have to remember. Second law of thermodynamics, very important. So I'll tell you what is the purpose of this delta G and how the entrance question they can ask based on this. Okay. Spontaneous process. We all know what is meant by spontaneous. Correct. Example I'll tell you. Common salt dissolves in water, dissolves in water on its own. Okay, there is a first one. Now, why I'm talking about this is due to my delta G. If delta G is positive or greater than 0, or delta G is greater than 0, then my process is what? Spontaneous. My process is spontaneous. If delta G less than 0, less than 0, the process is non-spontaneous. Non-spontaneous. What happens if delta G is equal to 0? What happens? My question is, what happens if delta G is equal to 0? Equal to 0 in the sense it is what? Equilibrium. Just like our entropy. Okay. And there is a small formula for this. If it is at equilibrium, delta G is equal to minus RT ln. Ln is nothing but, what is ln? How many of you know what is ln? What is ln and what is log? Yes. ln is for the base E and log is, as I already told you, what is log actually? It is for the base 10. That is the only difference. Okay. So again, I don't want to confuse you while writing E here. So I'll just remove this thing. But whatever is important, I will mark it. Delta G is equal to 0, greater than 0, less than 0, spontaneous, non-spontaneous. Equilibrium. So is it clear to everyone? I hope it should be. Yeah. So that's the end of this chapter.